starting at the ceiling up here, Doodle. Barrett Firearms SHOT Show 2012 is NUTNFANCY with Mr. Ronnie Barrett himself. Telling the Barrett story, going over the high points of the guns. How you doing, sir?
Ah, Ronnie Barrett, good to be with you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes,
you
sir.
are a legend in the heavy weapons industry, I will say.
Yes. Well, that's what most people know Barrett for, is making the big guns that get the job done. You know, one of the things that's changing a little bit in Barrett's right now is not only do we have the big guns that get the job done, we're wanting to make sure that people start to recognize us as makers of the most accurate gun. That's one of the things that we've got coming out here with the 338 Lapua. The 98B was our first entry into that. It's a nice, light, inexpensive rifle. Not inexpensive. Inexpensive for Barrett products, maybe, but you know, it's a nice small gun with no frills. Got a little bit of a adjustable cheek piece. You can adjust the length with some shims, but it's our basic 338 rifle.
I love this gun, by the way.
It is super nice. It was the rifle of the year a couple of years ago for the American Rifleman magazine, which then we took this product. This is a Chris Barrett design. This is my son's design. Took this product and made a product improvement of that, which became the MRAD. The MRAD is able to change barrels, change calibers, folding stock, but yet a lot of the things are common. The bolt is interchange or is common with the 98B and the magazine. You know, magazine catch a lot of it. So you can see the similarities of the two guns when you see them side by side. You can tell that this was the original gun. We love this gun. It's a good gun that we export a lot, and I like it. It's light, it's lightweight and everything. It's the first gun. I think I took the first blood with it on a big game hunt, and you know, it doesn't feel like a 338 rifle because you get your hands all the way around it. You know, so many of the big 338s are huge stocks, big, but then when you look at the size of their bolt faces are not very large at all. This gun right here is different from those other guns. It was designed as a 338, and you're going to see in the MRAD where we are taking it and scaling it down to smaller calibers, versus the way everybody else's 338 looks is where they started with a smaller gun and then pushing their luck. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Trying to expand it or trying to enlarge it by starting with a gun designed to be a smaller cartridge, then taking it to
instead
the
of purpose-built components for the 338 from the get-go.
By God, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
I'm with you, brother.
Let me show you
the
MRAD over.
Look at this sweet gun, guys. 14.5 pounds, 338 Lapua. Love it. The only thing I don't love about it is the price. It's just pricey.
Come on over this way.
I'm following you. Here we are. Barrett, Mr. Barrett himself.
Thank you.
This guy's famous.
Now you can see the commonalities. Here we look the same action that the that the 98B has. We have this, but we also have folding stock. Watch how it latches in. We folded the stock this direction because if you fold it the other way, you'd have the stock, then you'd have the thickness of the rifle, then you'd have the protruding of the bolt head. Well, this right here locks. That's what locks the stock into place. So this is cool. Here we have a very easy to adjust length of pull. Just one button.
Look at that.
One button changes it. You know, and it's a robust thing. We took this gun and extended out like that, and then do the 5-foot drop test on the concrete, throwing it down, you know, running over it and everything. It's a great design, great gun. Easy to manipulate or easy to adjust cheek piece.
That looks rock solid, Ronnie.
It is. It
rock
really
solid.
is. And you know, and then this is the dust cover. This is different. You can tell that this is not a deer rifle that's been painted black. It has been designed to be what it is, a modular tactical rifle like this. Easy to field strip out. You know, again, look at that bolt head. You know,
massive.
It is massive. I mean, you can tell we did not start with a 7.62 and bore it out. It began that large. So it's real easy for us to take and scale that down. This is what a 338 Lapua ought to have, because the 338 Lapua operates with very high chamber pressures. And it would make me nervous to start with something that I think that was approved for a 7.62 and then try to pack this type of pressure in it. You know, our safety is the very familiar thumb release safety. Let's get on the other side.
Yep.
Everybody knows how to use this thing right here because it's on most of the battle rifles. We're just using a little small throw to it. You pop this out, it'll swap over, go to the left-hand side, you know, or go to the other side. Trigger module just lifts right out with your fingers. I mean, it is truly a gun that you don't have to have an armorer's toolkit to work on. You can get this thing into shape, you know, just with your
That's the dust
fingers.
cover portion,
Yeah,
huh?
it is. It also is part of the safety here because we have the upper and lower receiver. You cannot depress the button to open the gun or open the receivers unless your bolt is cocked and back. So it's a special patent on here that prevents it. That's a huge safety feature on this gun here.
Mr. Barrett, doesn't it have a really nice trigger in it too?
It does, very nice. It's fully adjustable. You know, and because of the modularity of it, we can take these triggers in and out. We look to have several different types of triggers, several different calibers and bolt heads and everything available for this. And like I said, it doesn't require any tools to get any of this stuff to happen. Another nice thing here is that the lower receiver is the serialized part. You know, now again on the other type of rifles, your receiver, you've got a big chunk of steel, you got the barrel screwed into that. You know, here's our serialized part. So left-handed versions that we have on the drawing boards where the entire upper receiver would be reversed, you just have one lower receiver, pop your left-handed gun on, and off you go. As the battlefield conditions or as different developments come along, you'll be able to, again, keep your lower receiver rebuilding your upper. This particular one comes with a 30-degree angle on the scope rail. That allows most scopes to work in their full adjustment band. You know, you got areas for Picatinny. We didn't just flood it with Picatinny rails all over.
Thank you.
We just put the screw holes in here so that you can put a rail where you need it. If you need a short rail on one side and a long rail on the other, no problem.
Love your barrels. I like how you flute them. You're doing what you can to decrease the weight a little bit.
That's right.
You're doing it.
That's right. The sling swivels in there, they just pop in,
Flush mounts.
change anywhere you want them.
I want to take this opportunity on behalf of all servicemen serving over there in Afghanistan to say thank you for some awesome rifles that are saving lives out there.
We're doing that.
Seriously.
And you know, and when you do a good job of it, this is the type of company you get as a result. You know, people say, well, you know, you sure have done well. You know, I think we've just done well in offering good service and genuinely wanting the best product for our soldiers and for our customers. And yeah, when you do that, no surprise that you have a very good business to show for it. You know, Barrett is an incredibly healthy business. It's one of we owe nothing. We are financially very sound. We're fielded in, our big rifle is fielded in like 67 different governments around the world. You know, and the only way that you can do
the
that,
M107A1,
this
guys.
is the M107A1, and what a magnificent war horse.
Piece of art.
It is a war horse from get-go. And you know, we took everything that we learned from the M107. When the M107 was first put into place, the government had the forethought to say that in 10 years we'll probably have enough information that we want alteration number 1. Then in another 10 years we'll want alteration number 2. So this is what we're proposing for our first alteration number 1. It is 5 pounds lighter. It is sound suppressor capable. Where our old M107 or the 82A1, you really don't want to put a sound suppressor on it. It is a recoil operated gun and it tears stuff up to do that. This gun right here is designed to be able to take the Barrett sound suppressor. I'm going to pull the heat cover off of it here. Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful. I love this.
Yes.
Now, you're not losing that.
This right here, even with the sound suppressor, there is some usable gas coming out the front of the muzzle. And so we put this optional muzzle brake on the front of it. And I say optional because some people say, well, I don't want that. Well, you remove these right here and you can have a traditional looking sound suppressor. This reduces recoil a little bit further, but it does give you a little bit of a sound bouncing off of these baffles. Now downrange, it sounds just as quiet, maybe more so.
Oh, okay.
But you know, if you took a sound suppressor and put it up against the wall and pulled the trigger on it, you would hear a little bit bouncing back at you. Also, the boom, you know, just as it comes out, it's just like if you spoke into a wall or spoke into an open room.
Little deflection coming back at you.
So we have that where we can remove it on or off. We got an aluminum 7075 upper receiver. It's got a 27-minute rail built into it. Put the sling swivel up on the top. We've got a rear hand grip now that is removable, and it's put on by a Picatinny rail underneath. Now the reason we've done that is because some of our EOD troops are having to shoot this out of a little small porthole, and we're looking to put a set of spade grips that would come up here and operate the gun so that they can stand in behind it and fire from a
great
little port
attention to
position.
detail.
Yes.
This is yours intervention too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's the
sick.
bore system. Came up with that in 2003, where it reads the position of your elevation knob. And so as I turn this knob, the computer is reading its position. And so it keeps track of where, of course, where the elevation is being adjusted, but it displays it on the back side in either yards or meters. So now you don't have to say, well, I've got a target at 800 meters away, open up a book, go down, look, and say, well, okay, I got to come up so many, whatever you like, milliradians or minutes or whatever. You know, I got to adjust up here. All you have to do is know I got a target at 800 meters, I dial it to 800, pull the trigger. If you have zeroed the rifle at, say, Fort Bragg at sea level, and now all of a sudden you're in Denver or you're a mile high, this reads the altitude, it adjusts for the thin air, makes the correction, and you're still on target. If the temperature changes, it reads the temperature, and it'll make corrections for that. If you're pointing depressed or pointed your elevation up, it reads those, and it makes the correction. It tells you if the gun is canted, you know, side to side. So it's a great tool on it. Hilarious to use because you sit down and you watch other people struggling with these targets. You know, here you got a target at 1,800 meters, then you've got another target at 600 meters, and they're trying to figure out all this stuff back and forth with a book, and all I'm doing is sitting there just dialing and raining shots.
Railing on it.
Yeah. So the Bores is really a great invention on it.
My 2 cents is I think this is cutting edge. This is where everything will eventually go, and you got there years ago, and no one's still caught up with that system.
No, not really.
There's still nothing out there that even touches that.
You know,
it's expensive.
I've had some people. You know what? It's not. This is somewhere in $1,400-$1,500 price range, something like that.
That's doable.
And you know, when you see some of these things built into a scope, I think I've seen some people trying to compete where they built.
They're not to this level, though.
Well, the beauty of this is that it'll go on your Leupold, it'll go on your Night Force, it'll go on your Schmidt Bender, it'll go, you know, people's scopes is about as personal as their handgun they carry.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different idea on what they think is best, you know, and I love all those scopes. And we make a bore system that goes on the most popular military use telescopes. And you know, if your bores goes down, you've got a soft failure on it. You know, you can go back to using your adjustments on the top. And you know, it versus say if it was all built in, you're lugging around a bunch of stuff. It's not necessarily the scope you like.
Dead weight.
Yeah. So
I'm impressed with that. I haven't shot off it, Mr. Barrett, but I'll tell you what, I love it. I love the concept. And look, guys, it's mil spec. Everything he does is, I don't know if that's the right word. It's just tough and rugged.
It is good.
It's waterproof. Everything is built for the hard use military
And we
stuff.
think on it here too. You know, the batteries that it operates is the 123 battery.
Yep,
It's the same thing that's in your Surefire flashlight, that's in your combat flashlight.
Great power cell.
Because, you know, that's what you're going to have in your pocket. So we didn't make some sort of weird battery. You know, you've seen some of the old night vision. They used to have special batteries and everything. And when you're going around trying to find batteries to keep yourself going, you need something that's very, very common. Plugs into a computer over here so you can download any kind of adjustments you've got, or Wildcats or whatever. We've made improvements to the magazine. The feeding, these lips here have been redesigned so that the magazine protects the nose a little bit better as they're going up the feed ramp. So the 107 is just fantastic.
Work of art, battle proven,
Yeah.
amazing weapon, giving our troops so much capability, long range hits, anti-vehicle capability, just amazing. Again, big salute for that weapon system alone,
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Let me show you the Rec 7.
Yeah. Just did my LWRC review. I mentioned the Rec 7. It's been out for a while. It was cutting edge. It's a piston-driven hard-use carbine.
It is. It is really, really nice. This is the little PDW, the personal defense weapon. It's got an 8-inch barrel, fully chrome line bore. It's available in 5.56 or 6.8. And it's a lot different from the other guys. You know, a bunch of people have piston-type guns out right now. You know, great, love them to death, but you know, this is our patents that we received were up in this area here. This is kind of like a tappet system. I'm not sure, I may have something I can show you here.
I'm with you.
There we go.
I love this. Look at
There
this.
we go. So the piston doesn't come all the way out of the cylinder. It only moves just the amount to get the job done. Now, one of the things we discovered in working with some of the early 6.8 ammunition is it was dirty. You know, and you're going to find in different types of ammunition. A lot of U.S. ammo has been made so clean, so beautiful to run in the gas tubes. You know, that's very important to have the right gas flowing through your tube. So all your American ammo is just going to be, it's going to be great. But now you will encounter other ammunitions around the world that is not so clean. We came up on some of that when we were designing this. One of the patented features we've got in this is the cylinder itself is fluted. See this X coming out of the backside here? So when the gas comes, when the piston comes back, it clears itself through the flutes, and so you'll have any carbon or anything like that coming out of the backside.
Self-cleaning.
It's self-cleaning. That's why in tests, this thing has done really, really well. You know, and I will have to say, yeah, as James Yeager up in Camden, Tennessee with Tactical Response, he takes these things and just runs them all day long in the training exercises with no malfunctions, never a hiccup with it. It's got a two-position gas plug up the front, so if you're using a sound suppressor, you would turn to the second position. We have a positive latch button. Seen some other. You cannot accidentally move this in the field. So as you're running through the bushes, you don't want that thing scoot to a side position.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
latches into position,
Very positive.
or then out the front. You know, so that's a real important
Look at this
thing,
gorgeous barrel profile, guys. It's that medium, I'd say medium profile all the way through. Are most of your guns that way in the Rec 7, Ron?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Love it. Great job.
We also have an anti-tilt bolt. And can I get this out? I can get this out. You know, on this thing right here, we do not have a bolt with a barrel key
Don't have to
that
worry about
has
staked gas key.
Yes, that is not the way to go. This right here is
Are we
cut.
allowed to take pictures of that?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
This is cut from a solid block of material, and of course, guns that tap on the top can't be designed the same way back in the back. You got to have the anti-tilt bolt in the rear.
Yep.
So we've gone through that.
So you get no carrier tilt out of that, right,
Correct.
Ronnie?
Correct. Now this is just not a. I'm not sure if I can do this with my little fingers or not. I can. You know, we don't have a bolt that has been modified from a gas ring bolt. We have a. I'm going to find an ink pen here in a minute or something.
Hold on, I got you. Oh, coming to the rescue, Cadet.
And we back up.
That's a privilege. Have Ronnie Barrett use my Victorinox Cadet. I'm privileged. Look at this. Watch this guy.
that was yours?
Watch this guy.
Gee, I'm sorry.
I ought to give him one. That's hilarious. This guy's great.
You know, look at this bolt now.
Look at that.
See, that is not, well, our extractor's out of there, but this is not a bolt that's been modified. This is a bolt specifically designed for this. So we don't have the you know, the gas ring areas in there. You know, it is a free floating. Our 6.8 extractor is not a modified 5.56. It is a true 6.8 radius rim, and you know, there's nothing halfway about any of the Barrett designs.
That's what I'm getting out of this entire booth review and knowing your products beforehand is you don't cut corners nowhere.
Well,
It may cost a few bucks here and there, but you're not cutting corners
that's
in your
right.
designs.
That's right. This is all from the beginning designed this way. Again, it's just like the 338 Lapua. It's not a smaller gun or somebody else's gun converted up to it, we started with what we needed in the first place, and fixing to see some very exciting improvements come out from Barrett on the Rec 7. But that's how.
All right, we'll stay posted on that Rec 7.
Let me show you.
Great
there.
job.
This thing right here is an amazing little gun, our PDW, the 8-inch barrel, and with a 6.8 ammunition in it, it still has more punch and more knockdown than the 5.56. So even this gun right here is a good 300 to 400 yard gun with the right cartridge in it. And you know, the 6.8 is a love-hate relationship with a lot of people. Either you love it or hate it. I love the price of the 5.56 if I'm going out plinking, but I love that knockdown and one-stop shot kill
Amen.
that I can get with the 6.8. And if I were a cop all by myself, or if I was anybody that's having to depend on just me, you know, what you have to have is something that will get the job done right now, and the 6.8 sure does it. You know, but of course the modularity of this gun, one of the beauties of it is that you can have an upper receiver in either one of them. The little short barrels are doing real good in the American public too, because you know it's only like a $200 transfer tax or something like that. It is well worth the $200 to be able to have the compactness that this has. And I'll tell you what, if you've got a little short barrel gun like this, this is where the gas piston stuff really shines. You know,
I'm with it. Suppressed or short barrel, I like piston.
Love those gas tubes and everything, but they just plain don't work well when you try to port that thing that close up.
Do you have some LE customers on the Rec 7?
Yes, sir, we do.
Probably happy with it too.
Sure do. So all the rest of the stuff is just the same good old reliable stuff that we all know. We've got. Let me tell you about our. If this is a 6.8, it is not. But our Barrett 6.8 magazine is a true 30 round 6.8 Remington magazine. You know, yes, it's going to be a little bit longer, but it is better to have that true 30 rounds than saying, well, it's going to be.
You're losing round capacity because you're running 6.8.
That's right.
It's nonsense.
And and everything is usually coming around in 10s anyway. So when you open a box of ammo, you want to be able to keep things, 20, 30, whatever. So we've got one of the best 6.8 magazines in the
Are you guys making all this in house, Ronnie?
No, some of this stuff is, of course the butt stocks, standard stuff. Yeah. All the different grips that are standard and everything. What's unique to this right here is our gas system, the working parts of it, the bolt carrier, the bolt, the extractor, and how we balance the front up here. You're fixing to see some other stuff come out that will be new on.
Guys watching this video are going to be watching the Rec 7 line.
Just stay tuned,
Hey, request from you, sir, real quick.
Yes.
If you could thin that handguard out. I don't know if that's coming in future versions. Oh, look at the smile. Look at the smile. Called it. Once you come out with a Rec 7 that's a little bit lighter and thinner, dude, I'm on board.
My son is gonna say, Dad, you're telling too much.
Poker face, Dad. Poker face.
Yes.
Busted.
Yes,
Look at the crowd.
This is Lloyd.
Small crowd gathered here in the booth. Mr. Ronnie Barrett doing just an awesome job.
Last day.
Awesome job.
I tell you what, if you don't own one of these, shame on you.
Don't.
Really do.
My daughter came to your booth the other day and said she can die happy.
This is good.
Look at this sick thing.
And this.
I want one for my car, Ronnie.
I love
traffic.
my old lady
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
I love my old lady too and what it does and everything. But this 20-inch barrel is one of the best things that have come down the pike in a while. We lose about 200 feet per second off of it, but to shorten that thing 9 inches really puts on a lot of handiness, if that's a word. It is in Tennessee. But I love this thing.
I love this.
Here
Look at the mount. Can you talk about the mount? I know this is probably an institutional military mount for a helicopter or what?
It is a low recoil mount. It has all stainless steel, nothing rust. There's no springs. That's why the urethane is right here. It's in a small pimple socket. We call that the Barrett soft mount. You see where it recoils down here?
Yeah.
Even though the Barrett does not have high recoil impulses to your shoulder, it needs a little bit of give. And so if you've got this plugged into a Humvee, and this is one of the mounts that is supplied off of our combat Humvees, you don't want to mount something like the 50 onto the side of your boat or whatever. You need a little bit of give to it. And so this was designed a while back for some Navy applications. that can sit out in the weather all day, and you've seen it in some of the pictures in Afghanistan, mounted in little trucks and everything.
Yep. I was in England serving the Air Force, the Pablos, running 50s out there. And this is a little bit different application, semi-auto rifle versus a 50 full auto, but they have run mounts just like this. Beautiful. It's an engineering masterpiece. Yep. Just adds so much to the capability. What were you going to say?
Well, back on that 20-inch barrel, here you'll have it again with the sound, the muzzle brake that's designed to accommodate the sound suppressor. The arrowhead brake and this round muzzle brake are exactly the same as far as the recoil reduction. So, what we wanted was something that we could take a sound suppressor and just pop it on, lock it down, and it's ready to go. And so that's what we're seeing on this. This is why it's on the new M107A1, is because it is sound suppressor capable. Whenever you see this round brake, that means that your Barrett rifle is able to handle a sound suppressor. So the arrowhead brake does a great job. This is exactly the same kind of recoil reduction. We've got it tuned so that they're identical. It's just made for that.
If I was a military user of the 107, I would pray that wherever the money's coming from, they buy that suppressor with it.
Yes.
I bet it's night and day shooting that with a suppressor
really
without.
It really is. It is. It brings it down about like a 22 caliber pistol, something like that.
And I'm not talking operational stuff, like not being just found out by the bad guy.
Hey, another nice thing about this right here, when you take the barrel 9 inches down and then you add the suppressor back up, now you're back to about the same length that your standard rifle originally was. When you stick the sound suppressor on this long barrel, everything's just getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
I love this thing right here. Shooting it in a country the other day, actually we see a little bit better accuracy. I shouldn't say this, but because the barrel has less whip to it, you will find it's easier to get loads that give you just really nice groups out of a
stiffer barrel, shorter
barrel. This gun is available in 416 Barrett and 50 cal.
Speaking of which, that is a wicked cartridge.
It really is.
That 416 is leaving the muzzle at 3,000 feet per second. And what are you working like a 450 grain round, Ronnie?
We've got it down to We've got it tuned down to 3,200 feet per second. So it smokes.
Did you find that ballistically there was a threshold that you're getting better accuracy and still
we were looking to get out there? The faster you get to the target, the less it's affected by wind and everything else. It is just lightning fast. When you shoot one of them, it leaves your mouth hanging open. We were first time. That's another Chris Barrett design. Chris designed that cartridge, but the first time he shot it at 3,000 meters, he pulls the trigger. No sooner did he pull the trigger, boom, tick, it hits.
You hit it.
And he turned around and said, "Did you see that?" And of course, I'd seen TAC shoot before, and that's how they do there with their little darts. No sooner than the gun goes off, it just tears the target up, and that's what the 416 does. It's a little different from the 50. Love the 50, but you can take 3,000 meter target with the 50 and pull the trigger, stand up, dust off, pick up your binoculars, and watch the target hit.
Regain your composure.
Yeah.
Reset your jaw.
Yep, and it does great. But it is quite a launch. With the 416, it really just blisters out there super quick.
I think it's a great design, the 416. Look at this gorgeous rifle here. Isn't that beautiful? What finishes on that, Ronnie?
That's an MP3. This was a one-of-one gun for our 30th anniversary, and we're going to be giving it away at the 2012 NRA show. And it is a super sexy looking gun.
It is.
It is basically it's an M107A1. It's an M107A1, but look engraved over here. I don't know how well that shows up.
We got it.
Barrett anniversary, one of one. It's hard to believe it's been 30 years of great gun making and great associations and good business. So this is going to be a one of one. Nothing else will be made like it.
Gorgeous.
Historic.
You guys should throw in for this at the NRA convention. I'll tell you what, you can see thousands and thousands and thousands of entries, guys trying to score that. Man, what a booth review. Yeah, brother. You did an awesome job telling the Barrett story, talking the technical details of the gun. This is Tactical Doodle, NUTNFANCY Project, Barrett SHOT Show 2012 signing off. Thanks, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We can do it.